Hello! Welcome back to the channel, folks. Here we are. Episode 3. Moon Knight. Oh, I know you're just dying to get through this series. Frankly, so am I. So it can be over. Okay, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I encourage you, smash that like button, subscribe, and before you leave, drop a comment down below and also ring that bell so you know when the next video pops up. And if you're a regular here, welcome back, guys. Again, smash that like button, and before you leave, drop a comment as well. Okay, we're not going to do a full Keep Talking segment here. I just want to keep thanking Used and Abused Podcasts out there for using the hashtag Keep Talking in your outro. Thank you guys so much. And when I was on Dork Wars on Saturday, the support from with inside the Red 5 network and the Dinks family. So thank you guys. Means a lot to me. But let's get right into it and stick around. I got some stuff at the end you're gonna want to hear. Okay, episode 3 of Moon Knight. Whew. We start off, and Layla is making some fake passports because she's got places to go. We find out she's Egyptian. Not the blonde New Yorker named Marlene. That's in the comments. But good job, Marvel. Way to check that diversity box off. Good for you. We then move into Cairo, where we ended the last episode, and someone who said, feel free to let them know that the reference of this, where Danny from Comics and Cosmetics said, I think that's Jake Lockley there. That's Jake Lockley that we see at the end of episode 2. Well, no, it's not, because when Arthur Harrow is arriving at his dig site, someone comes up and says, Mark Spector's been sighted in Cairo. He's tracking us. So, still no Jake Lockley. Oops. Okay, so we have a chase fight scene where Mark is chasing down followers of Amet, and we get the disjointed between Mark and Steven. And we have when we finally come back to Mark, there are 2 dead, 1 left, and Mark's like, Steven, what did you do? And Steven's like, I didn't do it. Well, Mark's like, well, I didn't do it. So who did this? Now, before anyone says, Jake Lockley, keep this in mind. At the start of this episode, in the recap, first thing they said was a scene where Arthur Harrow said, must be painful with those voices in your head. Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Khonshu. They are consciously telling us that there is no Jake Lockley. So, my personal thought on this, in some of these blackout moments, Khonshu decides to take over outside of either of their knowledge. Tell me that's not possible. I dare you. Okay, so then Mark has a nice little chat with Khonshu saying, what are we going to do? And Khonshu looks really bad with the CGI just sitting on a car. No, not good. We decided to have a meeting of the gods, or at least their avatars. So, Khonshu blackens out the sun for a little bit, and then a meeting of the gods is called, and Mark is transported inside the Pyramid of Giza. And we get to meet some of the avatars, but the gods that'll be represented here. We see Hathor, we see Horus, Isis, Tefnut, and Osiris. And basically the same premise. We're gods. We observe, we do not interfere in the affairs of man. That sounds like the mission statement of another failed Marvel experiment. Anyone remember the Eternals? That went well. So then, after that meeting is adjourned and the gods are no help, the avatar for Hathor tells Mark that there's a sarcophagus that might be able to tell him where Amet's tomb is. Enter MacGuffin number 2. So, and also I want to keep bring this in mind that even though as the gods say we do not have fear in the affairs of man, whatever, blah blah blah, there still has been no mention of Thanos, the Snap, or the Blip. According to my theory, this is outside of the MCU. This is a one-off. So, Mark begins looking for, asking around, and, well, hello, Layla. Where did you come from? And of course, Layla's the one who knows how to find this sarcophagus, because, of course she does. We then meet a man named Mogart, who's a collector with his own nice little private army. And they get a chance to look at the sarcophagus. It's legit. And through mirrors, Steven is trying to tell them that there's a message, but it's coded. They have to be able to break that code. Margot's men get a little jumpy. Guns get drawn. And then Harrow shows up and offers Margot just a taste of Amet's power. Margot, being a fan of Legends, is very interested in this, and all of a sudden, Mark's nowhere to be found, except if you look up top on one of the buildings there's Moon Knight. We have a Moon Knight fight now. Again, over CGI, whatever. And Layla kicks the ass of Margot's personal bodyguard, who outweighs her by about 70 pounds. Because, of course, totally possible. Okay. We then get to a scene out in the desert where they have the pieces that can decode the star map, this star map. And only Steven can figure this out. So Mark gives control of the body back to Steven. Steven figures it out, but that sky, when this star map was created, was over 2,000 years ago. The map's going to be off. So Khonshu, with Steven, as Mr. Knight, who again was more Deadpool than Mr. Knight, moved the sky to what it looked like 2,000 years ago. Now, this actually looked pretty cool. I will give them this. This was a cool visual. Visually, this was a cool scene. And they find the location, but because of this, the gods are angered at Khonshu again and imprison him in stone and tether him inside the Pyramid of Giza. So he's this little stone figurine now. Khonshu's gone. Powers are gone. And then Harrow, talking to one of the other avatars, just walks up to the little figurine and says, I actually enjoyed dishing out pain when I was your avatar. You've inspired me to make this happen. When my victory is complete, it'll be because of you. Cut. Okay. So the last 10 minutes of the episode with the moving of the sky and whatnot, that actually looked really cool. I'm not going to lie about that. But we're already halfway through this 6-episode series, and here are some of the things that that Marvel has got specifically wrong. Again, this is stuff, just hang on. This goes to what I've been saying a lot. Stephen Grant is a billionaire man of society, not some beta male, weak male who works in a gift shop. Got that wrong. Mr. Knight was Mr. Cool Customer. He was the informant for the police. He was he was another persona created by Mark Spector to keep the cops off of his trail. He's almost stoic. Whoa. Got another little message there. Sorry about that, but I'll answer that in a second. So, Mr. Knight wasn't goofy with almost a Deadpool look to him. How would I say? Just campy, goofy, very Deadpool-ish. Marlene was a blonde, the love interest, and was the daughter of an archaeologist. Not a brunette Egyptian, who was a wife. They got the daughter of the archaeologist part right. Jake Lockley was the third main persona. He was a taxi driver. Here he's non-existent. Speaking of Jake Lockley, the informant, Crawley, who Danny made a big deal about this character too. He was the homeless informant who would meet at a diner and give Jake the word on the street. It's a silent street performer. Not much of an informant, is he? We have, also from the comic, Frenchie Duchamp was Mark's sidekick, partner. Here, non-existent other than seeing his name in a list of missed calls. We have Arthur Harrow. Was a surgeon, scientist, very obscure Marvel character, Marvel villain, was used in only one comic. And here he's a religious zealot who has his own personal axe to grind with Khonshu. Again, the series was based in New York, not based in London. These are all the things that this series has gotten wrong from the comics. Begs the question, why? Well, either the writer doesn't understand these characters, or simply, as I've said, doesn't care. And I'm going to give you an example of, within the MCU, of what understanding a character means. And I'm going to go with the first Avengers film and the second Avengers film, Age of Ultron. Specifically the character Captain America. Now, both of these films were directed by Joss Whedon. Take your personal sides out of him. We know he's a human dumpster fire, but this makes my point. In the first Avengers film, when Thor is introduced, Iron Man and Loki have Iron Man, Loki, and Cap, and Natasha are in a Quinjet. They're headed back to the helicarrier. Thor shows up, takes Loki. Iron Man leaves. Cap's putting on his parachute. And Natasha says, I sit this one out, Cap. Don't know how I can. These guys come from legends. They're basically gods. Steven says, there's only one god, ma'am. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that. Now, Joss Whedon is an atheist. Says so in the director's commentary when you're watching the film. So Joss doesn't like to make references to God or any deity whatsoever. But Joss understands who Captain America is. Captain America is baseball, mom, apple pie, America, God and country. He understands who that character is. So what Cap is saying is true to the character of Captain America. We go to Age of Ultron, and probably one of the best individual scenes if you just take the scene apart by itself in the MCU, and that's the after party scene where you've got the Avengers, Rhodey, Falcon, and Agent Hill. Then they're trying to lift Thor's hammer, and it comes and people are trying and they can't lift it, and they're making jokes about it. But then comes Steve. Gets both hands. It moves. It budges just enough for Thor to notice. And then Steve backs off. Again, Joss Whedon understands who Steve Rogers is. Steve Rogers is not going to show up his friend Thor. Even though they're all playing a game, they're all laughing, he knows what this will do to the psyche of Thor. Steve could easily lift the hammer. Steve is obviously worthy, as we saw in Endgame. But they didn't put that in because the writer, the director, understands character. And I'm going to go into a lot more of this in more detail on Saturday, so please stay tuned for that. But that's my take for today. This series sucks. It's not going to get any better, and I am not looking forward to the next episode at all. Despite one visually cool looking scene, there's not much that is redeemable of this. So, but hey, that's my take. Now I turn it back over to you guys. Tell me what your thoughts are. Drop in the comment section down below. And on your way out, make sure again, smash that like button. If you're new here, subscribe, ring that bell, and share this video. At the time of recording, we're at 146 subscribers. Ooh, that's some progress right there. Nice, kids. Great job. Remember, the goal is 200 by the time Kenobi drops, May 27th. So let's make this happen, guys. In the meantime, I will see you on Saturday. So, as always, have a great rest of your week. Always have fun. Hashtag keep talking. And always keep that smile on your face. Toodaloo.